You guys, what's up? Please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed to this channel. Today's video is so dear to me. I may look a little different because I don't have any makeup on, but you know, we're just gonna be all natural today. We're just gonna be in our element. You know, it's 2023, new year, new me. I have a co-host today. You guys, I had a whole baby. Yes, guys. My other co-host is napping, so he couldn't be here, but I do have a co-host. This is Kareem. This is my baby. This is my Kareemie. That's what I call him. My Kareemie. So he will be my co-host for today. Say hi. So this video is about my birth story. I want to make this video to encourage anyone, any mother out there who wants to have a Vbac or a vaginal birth after cesarean. That is what I had. And I want to encourage you guys that you can do it. And I'm going to tell you how I manifested my Vbac, okay? This is going to be a little bit gruesome, and this is not for the faint of heart. I found out I was pregnant in April 2022. And I told my husband, and I remember the day I told him, and he was like, yes. And he was so happy. And I had a really, really easy pregnancy. Towards the end of my pregnancy, I was having complications with high blood pressure. My blood pressures were getting up and up. And basically, because of my previous delivery with my older son, they were telling me that they were preparing for a cesarean section in which they would cut me to take out the baby. I did not want that. The first time I had a C-section with my older son was in 2020. He was born in November. And when I tell you, my recovery time was about 6 weeks, but really I would still feel the pulling at my scar when I would bend down to pick up things. And I bled for a little bit. After delivery, women bleed. And so I bled for a little bit, and then I stopped bleeding. And then for whatever reason, I started bleeding again, and I just never stopped bleeding. So I bled for 5 months, like consecutively, and it was so much blood. When I tell you that I really thought that there was something wrong with me. Like, I was very scared. I went to multiple doctors. I went to like 3 different doctors, and no one could tell me why I was bleeding so much. And I was bleeding so bad that I really couldn't leave the house because my pants would be soaked within 30 minutes. And so I really think that the C-section had a lot to do with that for me. I don't think that my body responded well. Plus, I had a very long labor. I was in labor for 36 hours. I was dilated at 7 centimeters for 12 hours. So I really wasn't progressing in my labor. But when I tell you, honey, this labor was so different with my second child. It was so different. So my due date was on the 16th. So they scheduled me for my C-section on the 16th. So around 32 weeks, I was like, you know what? I do not want to have a C-section. So I started looking up all these YouTube videos. I was doing my research. I was talking to people. I was like, how do I ensure that I have a vaginal birth? Like, how do I avoid this? Because I really don't want to have a C-section. And so one thing that I did that I really think helped is I just didn't stress over it. I stopped stressing over it. I started to say things like, you know, whatever is supposed to happen is gonna happen. As long as I'm healthy, it'll be okay. And I was saying these things in order to psych myself out and to really reassure myself that regardless of how I had the baby, as long as I was healthy, that's really all that mattered. At 32 weeks, honey, I went and I bought red raspberry leaf tea. Yes. I started doing, they call it spinning. So I started doing spinning exercises. And I will put links in the description box of like the different exercises that I did. Dates. Oh my God. I was eating dates like 3 to 4 a day. And I didn't like them, but I would kind of force myself to eat them. So I did that up until about 38 weeks. The week of my 38th week, I went into the hospital. I had an appointment for just a regular checkup. Towards the end of your pregnancy, you're going every week. So I was going for my weekly checkup, and my blood pressure was like 160 over 100. So they were like, oh, we're gonna wait. We're gonna see, you know, we're gonna check it again. Your blood pressure is really, really high. We're gonna check it again in a couple minutes and see what happens. They checked it again. Same thing happened, like 160 over 102. Like, it was really, really high. So they're like, okay, yeah, we have to send you to triage. Like, your blood pressure is so high. And the thing about high blood pressure during pregnancy is you can actually have a stroke. So they sent me to triage, and they had him on the NST, which is the fetal, it's a non-stress test. It's the fetal monitor. And so they had him on the NST, and, you know, they were checking his heart rate, and they're like, we see a couple decelerations in his heart rate. So, you know, we want to just keep you guys here for a little bit. And just see, you know, how you guys are doing. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the bed. I'm so stressed because I'm like, oh my God, I hope my baby's okay. Oh my God, I hope these people don't take my baby via C-section today. Like, I don't want to do this. You know, I'm just praying, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna pray and just wait on God and just see, you know, what happens. So the doctor comes in, and the doctor is like, so we're gonna do a C-section. But right now we have like 15 people on our floor. So, you know, there's a line. So, you know, around 7:30 is when we're thinking that we'll take you into the operating room and start the C-section. And I just let her know, I said, I really, really, really don't want a C-section. I really don't want to do it. If you guys can, if we can avoid this, please, like, tell me how we can avoid this. I was like, wow, I need to get my husband here. So I called my husband. I said, hey, you can't go to work today. We're having the baby. So my husband got dropped off by my sister so that we could ride together on the way home. And he came in, sat down, and we were talking. And I was like, babe, what do you think we should do? My husband's response, which I love my husband so much. My husband's response was, you know, the health of you and the baby is the most important thing. So if they're saying that we need to do a C-section, let's go ahead and do a C-section. And so, you know, after talking to my husband, the doctor left, went back. She was like, okay, I'm gonna talk to some of my residents and see what they wanna do. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it to God, and we'll just go ahead and do it. I'm like, we're gonna go ahead and get a C-section. The doctor's like, well, I talked to some of my residents, and, you know, they basically said that we're gonna try and let you deliver. If that's what you wanna do, we're gonna try our best to, you know, to let you deliver. And if all else fails, you'll just end up having a C-section anyway. So they're like, we're gonna break your water and put you on Pitocin. I was like, I don't wanna go on Pitocin because I did Pitocin last time and it stalled my labor. And I wasn't ready to give birth. And it just put me in a lot of pain, and then my blood pressure went up, and it caused my baby to respond to the Pitocin, and it was just a bunch of mess. It was like, I really don't want to do that. She was like, so you definitely have to be induced with the Pitocin. So I was like, okay, well, let's do this. Let me exercise for an hour, and then let me, you know, get on the birthing ball and all that stuff, and then you can break my water and put me on the Pitocin. So that's exactly what we did. I was bouncing on that ball. I was squatting. My mom was like, you should twerk, you should twerk. I was like, I'm not gonna twerk in the hospital, like, no. I was just moving around. My husband was a big help. My mom was a big help. I almost broke my husband's hands because of contractions. Honey, I started dilating. I was like 6 centimeters after I did all the exercising. So then I was like, okay, you can break my water and we can start the Pitocin. Once they started the Pitocin, I was like, yeah, I'm done. Those contractions were so bad. I got to a level 4 on the contractions, and I was just like, I need that epidural. I mean, I was in so much pain, y'all. I was in so much pain. By this time, it's about 8 o'clock. I think I was up to maybe 7 centimeters. And I was in the bed. I fell asleep. I took a nap. I was on the peanut ball. And then at 12 a.m., they were like, oh, you're 100% effaced. And I was like, what does that mean? And at 1 a.m., they were like, you're ready to push your 10 centimeters. When I tell you guys, my mom was like, you can push the baby out, oh my God. Because my mom she knew how much I wanted to have a vaginal delivery. At 3:03 in the morning, my baby was born, my Karimi. I just felt so good. I cried. I was so thankful because I really wanted this. And let me tell you guys about my postpartum story. It's been amazing. Right now, my son is a month old. I'm a month postpartum. And I'm no longer bleeding. I'm so thankful. I was able to drive like 2 days later after giving birth. It was so different than having a C-section. And the thing that I'm most proud of is after you have one C-section, doctors typically don't like to do another vaginal birth. And the reason why is because it is a risk for uterine rupture. And a uterine rupture can lead to like serious complications for you and your baby. So this was like my last opportunity to have a vaginal birth, because the doctor that I went to was like, if you choose to deliver at this hospital again and you have another C-section, I am not going to allow you to push for your third delivery should you have a third child. When I tell you, honey, that God came through, he came through. I hope this video was able to encourage you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share if you like this type of content. And I will see you in the next video. And my baby says, he's got his hand up. He said bye. He said bye, y'all. We gotta go. We gotta wake up, brother. All right, bye.